The only reason we're hearing about more now, my best guess, is social media. More people are aware of them, and more people are speaking out about them. But the conversations about race, about sexuality, gender, and such, they've been going on for a very very long time. So um, for sure, I'll say at least since like the 80s, and that's still like more modern theorists. Um, like I said, and even those go back quite some time. I just haven't read some of the older stuff. The other thing is, yeah. So if a black person makes a joke about white people calling them crackers or something, you could be offended by that. But the difference here is, you know, you don't live in a world where you have to worry about that, I guess, affecting you in your everyday life. So, whereas with the transgender issue, they are constantly being scapegoated for all sorts of issues. And that's where Chappelle, in some of his new comedy routines he's been doing, he has still been making jokes at the expense of trans people, but he's also showing some level of starting to understand some progress in his attitude towards the trans community. And
Well,
some
like
of that was when he was joking about Trump's military ban that he had for transgender people.
right.
One of the things that was going on is, oh, it's very expensive, hosting these veterans, and everyone's saying that the numbers have come out. The ban itself will be more costly than it is for the surgeries that are offered to those few, very few transgender individuals. Not everyone who's transgender gets surgery. Um, so, like I said, there are just a lot of stereotypes out there, and that's the problem with these jokes. It may be harmless to us, but they are perpetuating myths that do have a serious impact on people. Uh, all the time, transgender people are worried about being outed, about being transgender, because I mean, the homicide rates directed at the trans community are the highest of any minority in the United States, um, especially for black transgender folks. And when you're saying, joking around like, oh yeah, like this trans person tried to trick me into having sex with them, that mentality grows. It's those small things. Like I
Okay.
said, sometimes we don't think of it that way, but at the end of the day, it starts somewhere. So,
So here is my problem.
mm-hmm,
My problem, and I had this conversation with few friends of mine yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we were talking about how um, I have no problem with transgender people. I don't care. To me, they're people. People are people.
yeah,
The problem I have is okay. The people that don't get the surgeries, I want to know up front because
yeah,
I'm not into that.
yeah,
I want to know up front. And the problem with that is the fact that, okay, I met my girlfriend on a dating site, right? And like Tinder, okay? I didn't meet on Tinder, but we have Tinder, okay? You're swiping right and left. Maybe you're looking for a, hot date, whatever. And some trans people look very much like women, and they're guys. I would be very, very, very mad if, you know, say I started getting into a conversation with somebody and it got to the point where, maybe we want to start to get sexual, and then I figure out that they have parts that I don't want. You know what I'm saying? That's where I have a problem. But and I understand that that transgender people want to be, they don't want it to be any different than normal, and so they don't want to have to just say, they don't always have to want to say, well, I'm trans. But That's something I want to know up front. Because, like I said, I'm not into that. And I'd be very mad if I, spent all this time getting to know you with the intentions that, I might want to date you, and then I find out that you're not what I was looking for. Like in the sense of, you know what I'm saying? In
I understand
I
where
mean,
you're coming from,
I've
but
ran across a couple of profiles that because I still have some profiles and I like to talk to people, so I chit chat with different people. And there was one that said, right in the description, it said, "I am a trans, you know, whatever." I said, "Cool, good to know. Like that's all I need. Put that at the top. I'm good." I'm not saying like if we're friends, you've got to announce that.
yeah.
At that point, you can take it. But you know, if you're on a place that you're looking for dating, I think that should be one of the first things that you put out because that is a very important piece of information people need to have. And I understand that there's a lot of people that want to get to the point where they may not have to put that right up front. I don't know if we're ever going to have that time because there are going to be people who, you know, if they're looking for a girl with lady parts, you know, that's what I want to that's what I want, you know. And there will be people who, will want a trans boy or a trans girl or whatever. And that's cool. But I want to know up front, you know, if you are trans, I would like to know. That would be a piece of information. So, but I feel like in the this is what I was trying to say to connect it back to you. Um, in the endeavor to try to, not have to say, "Hey, I'm trans," I feel like some people leave that information out. Because I found a couple of profiles where you read it, and maybe at the bottom it might say it, or it may not say it at all. But it's kind of like, okay, well, if by not saying it, and then the person just kind of finds out on their own, that would be hiding the fact. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he's referring to, and it is a thing. Now, he made a joke about it. It's a thing that we deal with every day. So that's kind of where
But I think the difference is there are trans individuals who do not disclose their trans identity up front. That is true. But it is not with the intent of tricking you into sleeping with them. And that's where it's that negative stereotype. In most instances, like I said, it's we're like I said, I guess I do see where you're coming from. Like, yeah,
right.
no, I like even for myself. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would be okay with the trans individual. Maybe I wouldn't be. But the fact of the matter is that by demanding that they are open about their genitalia, to us, that is, once more having them cater to us. So, and we can't meet them like if we want to be fair about it, it's like should we be upfront about, what parts we have?
I
You know,
would.
and
I
maybe
mean,
that is the case.
I don't care. Even back to dating sites.
Mhm.
You got all these questions. What do you have? I'll answer. I don't care.
And maybe that is the case. So, but then the other factor is, again, the danger in that. So that is something that you will never experience, something I will never experience. But there's a lot of fear out there for transgender individuals because being out like that or being outed, that can put them at serious risk sometimes. So they will disclose when they feel safe enough to. So, and I don't see there being anything wrong with that. So maybe the relationship, yeah, maybe you didn't know and it doesn't work out at that point, but why is it always to our comfort and their comfort is not considered? When, like I
See,
said,
well,
statistics prove they are in way more danger than
and
we
it's not
are.
about comfort. That's not what it is at all. It's because I have now at this point wasted most of my time Because a lot of the time when you get that serious, you stop, you get off of all your dating apps, you start to get serious with this person.
Yeah.
Then that reveals, you know, now I've wasted a lot of my time getting to know somebody that could be a friend and that could have happened anyway. But, I've almost completely cut off, my search that I was doing. And that's where I have the problem because now it is affecting my life. And I mean, I've said this before. I don't care, gay, trans. I don't. I
Yeah.
really don't care.
Yeah.
The Boy Scouts, took away kind of because they had kind of the same don't ask, don't tell policy. They were kind of more anti-gay. Like, if you were found out and you made a big thing about it, you would get your rank taken away. But they made a decision that you can be openly gay in the Boy Scouts. I was cool with that. I'm not I'm not a person that's against a lot of things.
Yeah.
But if that situation were to happen to me, I would feel a little bit tricked. Because if you want to know me, the real me, put everything out on the table. Because a lot of the people on those dating sites are putting everything out on the table that they have. And then you don't feel comfortable putting everything that you have out on the table.
Like I said, to me, you just have to put yourself in their shoes there. Like I said, I understand what you're saying, and it can be frustrating. I'm not denying you that. But what I'm saying is,
well, it's comedians' jobs to make light of, maybe some situations that are uncomfortable, or some things that are happening. And believe it or not, whether it's tricking into sex or just leaving that information out, that is a thing that's happening, and it is a thing that's causing people to get mad, or maybe hurts them because because they're not into trans people.
and I get that. But again, there's that danger that when people get mad, it's not just them getting mad, it's them taking it out on transgender people, taking it out on that other individual. And that's where I'm saying, like, we have to step into their shoes for a moment. It's like we have to realize that if I was transgender, like, they're scared just to, go about their daily lives. So, like I said, they are the most targeted minority in the country. We just had white supremacists and neo Nazis coming out in Charlottesville this weekend. It's like there is danger out there. It's like you can't be sure who to trust.
Well, and the thing is we've always had white supremacists. We've always,
Yes.
That's something we've always had.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't believe that transgender are the most targeted, because I feel like any minority or any, look at gay rights. They've got big targets painted on their backs too. Black people, white supremacists, So it's all, nobody is really, everybody has a target on their back in many different ways.
But it's not a matter of belief. Statistics show they are the most targeted.
I can make statistics say whatever I want. I mean, when you get into statistics, I could probably find some statistics somewhere proving that the sky is purple. That's where I have a problem. When people are backing it up with statistics, from what I've learned, I don't care about statistics. I really don't, because they can prove pretty much anything. If you have people coming forward saying that they feel targeted, which you might, but we also have, like I said, there's, African Americans feel that way, gay people feel that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel that way. You know what I mean? If I walk into a part of Flint where majority is African American,
You are the odd man out.
I'm the odd man out.
I won't deny that.
And
but it's not a structural thing. Again, there's a huge difference there. So.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying a lot about statistics, and like I said, I didn't. Statistics don't prove anything to me.
Statistics can be manipulated. I won't deny you that. I'll give you that. But at the same time,